Ancient Israel is not present Israel. While outlining the geographical situation of the land of Israel, Jewish scholars made it clear that this holy land is also called Palestine, where the Hebrew Bible took roots and where Judaism and Christianity were born along the large river basins of the Euphrates, the Tigris, and the Nile. Kingdom of Israel finds Kingdom of Judah as its historic partner. The ancient Levant, the ancient Assyrian Empire, the ancient Babylonian Empire, the ancient Achaemenid Empire, and the ancient Roman Empire are collectively entwined in the long descriptive history of the Holy Land of Israel's people, where biblical events invited all ancient tribes of the inhabited world to join its history. Thus, Bible is a joint declaration of faith of all ancient tribes then living in the four quarters of the inhabited world, and not necessarily a faith book of the Christians or of the Israel people of the prastha or Euphrates region, which was known to the whole world as Bhartu region. Mamlekand Israel, which identifies the United Kingdom of Israel and Judah, refers to the Amr Khetta, or the region of mango groves of the Pali sources on the bank of the Mansa river, Mansa lake, as same as Mansarovar lake of other ancient texts. It is a minor kingdom of ancient history where Malikama and the body relics temple of Abraham existed. Israel means place of the body relics of Ishwar Rahul, near which were the towns of Sichen or Srikantha, Tirjaha or Tribeni, and Samaria or Samangara or Sama. Peculiar to the history of human origin, the meaning of Israel, Jews, Hebrew, Judah, Levant, Yehud, and Christianity, though are all different, never they assure anything special in the gambit of world faith system to favor the Israel people and their holy land. Meaning of all these words found in the Hebrew Bible are clotted behind it, the original land of the Hebrew people, who participated in making of the history of other people of their times. Historical claim that Israel belonged to 10th century BC needs fixation of a geographical plane where biblical events happen, taking in consideration other world events that have gone into literary heritage of other ancient people. Nothing happened in isolated pockets away from the land where the first man was born after the emergence of the land of gods. The history of the kingdom of Israel should be explored in the geographical plane where Homer's two epics happened and where the pre-led humans were composed to admit God's influence over humans' actions. Levant was not Eastern Mediterranean seaboard. Mediterranean Sea does not identify its geographical position at junction of seas. Old Testament has not taken the name of Mediterranean Sea anywhere while narrating the biblical events near the Salt Sea region between Mount Tigris and Mount Sinai, which stretches from north to south, means Mount Tabor, which identifies the sacred Tribeni, and Mount Sinai, which refers to the Senani settlements, and the latter identifies Mount Zion, where the Buddha became an enlightened one. Mount Sinai finds its origin in the word Senani, the Sephard royal group of people who were ruling in Magadha, the Megiddo of the Bible. Ancient Arabian desert refers to the Rabi region near the Salt Sea, stretching from east to west. The coastal plain of Shepla on the south is recognized as Shephali region of Indian Puranas. The northern portion, which identifies with Mount Carmela is called Koramala, which finds its geographical base in the historic narratives of Alexander's India invasion account. The Pali sources also attest this geographical situation of Karmala, where the Buddha created a rapid river to stop the people of Vaishali to follow him into the Mala kingdom. To the east of Shefla is the hill country of Judah in the south, the hill country of Ephraim to the north of that, then Galilee and Mount Lebanon. Ancient Arab region which identifies the city of San or Rabi region was then situated along the Jordan Valley, that means the valley of Jamuna river, which is a branch river of the Ganges or the river Gaga, from which the name Gaza evolved mistakenly. Syrian desert means the desert of Ser of the kingdom of Mesa, which sat neighborly to ancient Babylon, the so-called Mesopotamia of scholars. Red Sea, whose eastern arm refers to Jamuna Valley, refers to the Erythraean Sea itself, and the Dead Sea identifies the Caspian Sea. The latter was dead because after the great flood and along with the river Ganges and the lake Manasarabara, it disappeared. The Levant region refers to Mount Raibat, and ancient Egypt was to the southern of this region near the Salt Sea or the junction of these seas. Description of Canaan sits next to Jerusalem. Head of Homeric epics identifies ancient Jerusalem. It was the region of a volcano. It was that region where persons getting punishment on royal proclamation were left to live alone or were hanged on trees mercilessly. The land was next to the border of ancient Egypt on the sea coast. There is no reason to seize this volcanic region by any kingdom by force, but it was the deified region of the inhabited world where seeds of 8 primordial gods or the Astarte gods stand along with mother's country. There is thus a competition among different tribes to come closer to this holy land. Ancestral memory of all tribes was linked with this holy land from earliest period. This was the region where annual festivals were held in the memory of ancestors at Bethany or Pathan. It was called Uttarakur region, where the seat of worship of Baal gods existed. They were known as pygmies to some other ancient texts. To speak of Bronze Age Canaanite city without identifying the particular region of Canaan is incorrect. Canaan of the Bible is Mount Karnayo of Indian Puranas, where hermitages of sages were located in a good number. It was the place where sacred bathing ghats existed. People from all 4 quarters flocked here who wished to die on their own by jumping into its sacred rivers. It was the holy region of Rama and Parshurama, and latter's descendants were known to history as Egyptians. Name Parshu marks the origin of Pharaoh, whose symbol was Parsa, an iron weapon through which the Trojan kings were destroyed by sage Parshuram, not Rama of Ajodhya. His period was prior to the Ramayanic age. Philistines is the prastha of Bhartu people or the Achaeans. Phoenicians were Frank people, and Israelites were the people of Suli region, means the region of punishment. Israel was neither a kingdom nor it refers to an organized ethnic group of people. Its land. Wanderers from all the 4 quarters of the inhabited world come here for purpose of salvation. Shalom or ladder was a symbol of salvation. Hebrew or Hari people were not dwellers of Suli region. They were the most respected group of the ancient world because of their renunciation habits. The words he, who, which were the bias of suffering due to severe cold and extreme climate, became the tantric words in later times. History knows country of these people as Haryas or Harayus, as same as Hari. So Israel people and Hebrew people identified two different geographical regions and they were neighborly to each other. Scholars see name Israel appears in Marneh's tale of 1209 BC. It is interesting to see how scholars of Israel's history counted 25 villages of Bronze Age increased to 300 in Iron Age. Israel Finkelstein's book, The Bible Unearthed, misleading pages, has tried to capture ancient Israel's history in the geographical boundary of the present Israel. Both Finkelstein and Silberman attempted to identify the ancient territories of the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, and Manasseh inside present Israel without knowing the historical standing of these ancient tribes in other ancient texts outside the Bible. The very concept that Canaanite and Philistine societies developed inside the land of Israel is not only wrong, it shows how the biblical scholarship wrought in the roads. To understand the Hebrew meaning of the most of the biblical narratives that has no relation with the present Israel. The biblical events give a picture of the entire inhabited world. When authors of the Bible on earth failed to identify Canaan, Mount Zion, and Philistine inside the present Israel, then they tried to arm their words not to concentrate on ethnicity of their people, but on the transformed culture of earlier Israels, whose historic identity is not clear in the Bible. The geographical identity of the actors involved in biblical events is blurred to the extent that even extracted meaning of the Hebrew words are not sufficient to capture the present Israel's geographical position to hold them as one ethnic group. Modern biblical scholarship, when failed to get geographical materials from the Bible to support its geographical claim to receive the historical share, then the idea of a social transformation of Canaan around 12,000 BC was implanted on a theoretical base that does not relate the Judean hill with settlements of Judah or Jadu of Indian Puranas. Yudhishthira of the epic the Mahabharata, who identified himself as an Yudhaya or Yudhaya, was a Pandyan or a Pandava. Canaanite societies never collapsed or disintegrated, as scholars think, in the period of history to give birth to 250 tribes as proposed by Israeli scholars in isolation. Canaan, whose geographical situation has been forwarded by Moses himself from the top of Mount Tabor or Tabatinsa, keeping his view fixed on the Salt Sea and its surroundings, matches with Mount Karnoya of Indian Puranas. Israel is as same as Isgil of Magadha country, and the latter is Megiddo of the Bible, to which Finkelstein says inside the present Israel. Achaemenid, the Medinota, Babylon, and Assur countries anciently stood like 5 neighboring houses, touching each other's roofs and keeping Jerusalem at their center near the junction of the siege. It is necessary to first identify the meaning of earth, which forms the base of Israel its cultural and religious identity through ages. What does the ark stands for? Is it a piece of wood? Is it a piece of land? Does it stand for the new moons? Does it identify the geographical shape of the region of crescent fertile of the Bible? As long as this controversy is not settled, ancient history of Israel claim for its people under the biblical narratives and under the extracted meaning of Hebrew words cannot be historically solved. Alexander's historians like Ptolemy have clarified that ancient Babylon was geographically contiguous with a Gangetic plain. Yehud or Yehudi is a corrupt term for Ohind, and Medinata is as same as Medina of the Quran, Media of the classics, and Madra of the Indian Puranas. It means the Madhya Desha or the center of the world region, which identifies the women's country. Along with it, which Saint Paul, like Alexander, visited. It is fair haven of the Bible. Alexander's India invasion account, which has been written by his own historians, has been misunderstood. This account does not reflect the geographical situation of Europe or the present Iran. It should be read as the history of the 3rd century BC of the entire inhabited world. The Seleucid Empire, against which the Judeans revolted in the 2nd century BC, can be seen from the map of Alexander's invasion account, which shows the contiguous geographical link of the ancient Babylon with the Gangetic plain and Mount Caucasus standing close to Caspia region. Ancient India is not present political India. Creation of Hasmonean kingdom refers to Osmakam and Hansa region of Indian history. And the present Israel should not claim any share in this kingdom, which was captured by Pompey of Rome in 63 BC. Pompey means Bimbi of Magadha, and the name's root is in Pampa Sarovara, or the image pond of the ancient world. The meaning of Parthian and misrepresentation of their historical standing in ancient world history has further pushed Israel's history in confusion. Arjuna of the epic the Mahabharata was called Partha, means he was a Parthian. His name identifies him as Arjunaya, means a Trojan. There is no difference between a Parthian and a Trojan. Land of the Trojan was neighborly to Judah or the Judeans. Phaethon of Alexander's history marks name of a place. Alexander has some generals with this title Phaethon. This is as same as Bethany, that mark the place of Peto tree or the tree of wisdom. Hellenistic history of Israel does not represent its past, but the past of the entire inhabited world. The Herodian dynasty refers to the dynasty of country of Halicarnassus, or the region of the river Hladini or Hydratus of Alexander's history. It is as same as Hade, region of Homer's epics. The term Jewish-Roman war means the war between the followers of Yahweh or Ahura Mazda and the followers of Rama or Roma. These three names identify three different social groups and three different geographical regions. The name Roma means woman, and it refers to women's country on the neighborhood of Judean plain near city of Sun. It may mean daughters of Romans. Meaning of rabbinic Judaism means Judaism of some people of a rabbinic region, that marks Rabi or the Sun City region which identify the ancient Arab region. The root of Arab is in Rabi, and this place identifies the Canaan region, being situated at the junction of the seas. The name Judaism also refers to Mount Ida of Greeks. It identifies the seat of worship of Jews, means Kashyapa, as same as Shekropos or Kesava of Indian Puranas. The name did not exist after the Bar Kocha revolt of 135 AD. While Bar means Bhur people, Kocha means ancient Kucha-Nerit. History of Kingdom of Israel, which has been made and unmade through mindful academic exercise of Israel scholars, invited all ancient kingdoms to participate in its historic journey through the designated Iron Age and Bronze Age soil in the present Israel. A dramatic climatic situation developed that led the city of Samaria to become its capital, sometimes in 10th century BC. Sasanka of Indian Puranas, or Shishak, whose name is found in an Egyptian inscription as a pharaoh, invaded this region. Thereafter, King Salamsar II emerged as the enemy of Israel, and Ahab the Israel met him in a war at Korkara. These facts do not help Israel to build a historic belt around its present geographical boundary. Korkara or Kurkura or Kukura country cannot isolate itself from the Mahanaim region of the Bible that found Abraham to have stayed sometimes there. There is no difference between the names Solomon and Salmini, when both the names suggest a Solomon king of Ser or Sea, who became hostile to Israel. The basic reason behind Israel becoming an enemy to various kingdoms around it should have been looked into carefully. Israel as a heterogeneous group of people who were followers of Samana Rahula, son of Buddha, whose biblical name is Rachel, flogged at Jezreel Valley, where his body relics temple existed near ancient Jerusalem and Bethlehem, Tyre, Moab, Ammon, Aram, Galilee, Galileate, Meso Kingdom, and Damascus are all neighborly to this place near the Salt Sea area. Yahweh means Arahat or the Buddha. Israel scholars claim that Jeroboam I, Nadab, Basop, Elaha, Jamri, Omri, Ahab, Ahaziah, Joram, Jehu, Jehoahaz, Jehosha, Jeroboam II, Zechariah, Shalom, Menahem, Pekahiah, Pekah, and Hosea were kings of Israel is completely wrong. They belong to the royal house of the region of Kapila or to the house of Achilles and Koili or the Kolians. It was the region where the Buddha was born, preached, and died. Shilom refers to ancient silk city near Khotan. The Buddha was called Jina or Jion, and Jion theology refers to the school of Jion, means school of Jion in Kapilavastu, which was neighborly to Tyre or Tyre. Davidic dynasty means the Kolian dynasty of royal house at Dabhor. Babylon, where the Buddha descended from heaven, was the seat of scribes of the ancient world. Pentateuch itself identifies the 5 villages there. Deuteronomy similar means the Dothraki kingdom at Troy. Negev of the Bible means the region of the Nagos or the serpent people of the south. Edom refers to Arab region, and Hebron means the Hiranyabahu river basin or the gold-carrying river of Alexander's history. Benjamin identifies a group of villages including Lodz and Bethlehem on the banks of the river Ganges. Their position was very close to Rachel's tomb and Bethany. Bethel's priests were known to history as Aaronites, or the people whose settlement was in Aruna, or the city of sun. Jerusalem was near Mount Jared, and its priests were called Zadokites, or the Joda people of Indian Puranas, that is linked to Mount Jarudhira. Cyprus the Great, Darius, and Alexander the Great operated in a single geographical region. Cyprus means Kubera, that identifies Cambyses, which marks one mouth of the river Ganges, and its source was in Manasseh Lake. Persians means the ancient Indians. Both share the same footprints in the biblical and the classical history without erupting any geographical differences till the great flood that separated one from the other. Yehud were inhabitants of Ohind region who had no geographical distinct identity except that it was called Hindkush region later after the flood. Hindkush became mistakenly used to identify the Hindus, which originally used to mean the Persians of Aram region. Jehoiachin means Jehoiachin or Yahuwah-chin, which refers to the descendants of charioteer Chan of the Buddha. He was ruler of Ehuri and was identified as a priest because of his historical relationship with the Buddha. Persians were descendants of Ram, and they were ruler of Aram country. Ezra belonged to Jara tribe of the region of Mount Jarudhira, and Nehemiah refers to Ahamiah or the region of Mahanaim or Mahanea country. Mahanama was the last king of Kapilavastu after the Buddha who after renunciation of his throne came to live in this region. Ezekiel means a Gion of Koili or Koil kingdom who had matrimonial relationship with the house of the Buddha. Ptolemaic rule refers to the Ptolemaic region, which identifies the region of Utpala. Utpala means blue lotus. Its other name was Ophir, that identifies the San or Sano region of ancient Babylon, where the Buddha descended from heaven. Catharine Monastery here marks the monastery of Chakrabartini Utpala Bhikkhuni, story of Seleucus who offered his daughter Bernice, refers to Varanasi, to Mauryan king Chandragupta or Scamander Gowns, was misread by his scholarly world. His kingdom has been reflected in Ashokan rock edicts along with other Greco-Persian kings. Rule of Ashoka over Jerusalem with special administration of Dhamma for its inhabitants has not been accounted for in the ancient history of Israel. Battle of Ipsas refers to the region of Isipatna of the Buddhist literature, where the Buddha preached his first sermon. Priest Unias too belong to one tribe, means Anu or Huno tribe of the ancient world, and Seleucus to Sarak tribe. Philadelphians, Nabateans, Macedonians, Syrians, Euphrates, and Ptolemies, with which is intimately linked the history of Israel, were geographically identifiable regions of the inhabited world with places like Fulora, Nobo, Mascha or Fish country, Ser, Uraga, Makkah, and Utpala or Lotus region respectively. Epiphanes, Heliodorus, Jason, Lycia, Antiochus, Acra, Bacchadius, Acides, Jonatham, Demetrius, Sotor, Alcimos, Balos, Alexander, and Simon, names mentioned under Seleucus rule, did not exist under Israel's present geographical boundary. The heterogeneous group of followers included relics worshipper of the Buddha, relics worshipper of the son of the Buddha, and relics worshipper of the mother of the Buddha. Relics means Brahma for them. The land is vital for such type of religious followers who annually take pilgrimage to the birthplace as well as to the place of body relics of their religious masters. Hasmonean dynasty find involvement of places like Hasmoneas, Gadara, Joppa, Accra, Sendabius, Antiochus, Hyrcanius, Parthians, Aristobulus, Etruria, Pompey, and Janaicus, and the Herodian dynasty adds region of Hade, Idumea, Samaria, and the region of Augustus to the already overloaded names of places in the history of people of Israel. Religion of Israel is born and reflected in the different historic names. They were called as Adot Israel. Adot refers to Advaita of Indian religious tradition, who believes in one God. Different name forms find them as wanderers, moving from one region to another to collect alms, and ultimately they reach Jerusalem for their salvation. Name Asreha or El Asreha means Asharohi or God riding the horse. This refers to the Buddha on the horse Kantaka with the charioteer Chana on the path of renunciation. This identifies the geographical basket of the both classical and the biblical narratives in the region of Manasya, where the Buddha reached after renunciation from Kapilavastu. Baal gods were pygmies living on the bank of a branch river of Euphrates known as Balakia River. Yahuwah, the national god of both Israel and Judah, marks the Buddha only. History of Israel people thus should be searched first within the gambit of the Pali sources of 6th century BC.